Is it live? What is happening? Oh, okay, I'm live now? Okay. What is happening, Facebook? Why? Why has it changed things? Please don't ever change things, Facebook. I don't want it to change. Okay. Well, it says we're live. So, hi, guys. Welcome to Make With Me Monday. It's Monday. That means it's time to make something together. And we haven't done a Make With Me Monday since November or before, which is crazy. Craziness. Before we get started, though, I'm going to do something. I have everything else set up. I just thought it would be cute. Actually, what am I talking about? We'll get started, then I'll do my cute thing. Okay. Denise says hello. Tracy says hello. And to me and to everyone. So hello, guys. Hello. We're gonna use the high humidity recipe today. So I'm gonna pop this cocoa butter into the microwave. Then I'm gonna do the cute thing with this laminator. So, during our boot camp that we just had, the Back to Basics boot camp, a bunch of people were like, do I get anything new? And I was like, well, I mean, like the recipes, there was like one new recipe, but there was also new stuff, even though it wasn't like new. And one of those things was recipe sheets, like so, like this one that takes the high humidity recipe and breaks it into a third batch size, like 1/3 size batch. How cool is that? Okay, and then that way when you're making things, you don't have to like keep referring to the recipe PDF or whatever. You could just use something like this. So I love to laminate my stuff, so I'm gonna laminate this because I've discovered that the third size batch is a really good size for me. The full size batch used to be what I used all the time, but like I don't sell as many things anymore. So having this smaller batch size. But we also have half, quarter, what to do if you only have one type of SLSA. Okay. And this isn't anything new. It's not like, I mean, it's new. The printout is new, but it's not like you can do it yourself if you have the recipe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to feel like you're getting janked. This says the low humidity recipe. I guarantee you it's not. It's the high humidity. I hope it's the high humidity recipe. Hold on. Now I have to double check. I know that there was a typo. For some reason it said low humidity for one of them, but it wasn't. So let me double check. Oh, everybody's saying hello, happy new year. Hey. I am here, teacher. Can we get one of those for this smaller batch size? So if you have the boot camp, it is in your docs for your Back to Basics boot camp, and it's quarter batch, half batch, third batch, and it says high humidity recipe, but for some reason at the top it says low humidity, but that's wrong. This is definitely the high humidity recipe. I should have a Sharpie here, but I don't. Anyway, it just makes it easier because I do have like my other recipe sheets on this type of stuff. Oh my gosh, I had already done this. Well, I've done it again. Oops, I did it again. Quarter batch, third batch, half batch, full batch. Anyway, this is basically just it's a boot camp only asset because we can't really like go through and figure out who has the high humidity recipe and who doesn't. That's like, it's like really hard to do that. But like I said, it's nothing new. So if you have the high humidity recipe already, you could do that. I would just take them at a time. But anyway, we also did some stuff like that for Winter Bar, so it's pretty cool. Okay, all right. So sorry. All right. So today we're gonna make bath bombs, and as many of you have seen, I have set up a rotating schedule for Make With Me Monday. I currently have it planned out for 3 months. And we have some new stuff coming, so I don't want to plan out further than 3 months, but we do have it planned out for 3 months. And yeah, that'll just make it a little bit easier for you guys to know what's coming down the line, what to expect. Also make sure that, because if it were up to me, I would just make bath bombs all the time. Like, bath bombs are my favorite, so that's just what I would do. But okay, so in my mixing bowl, I have all of my dry ingredients except for my citric acid, which is right here. And in this container is my cocoa butter that I just melted. And I'm going to add that to this container, which is my other liquids, my avocado oil, polysorbate 80, cocoa propylbutane, or bubble up, whatever. So I'm going to add these together. This is a little bit hot. We took my heat gloves next door. I usually do it all in one container, but I wanted to like have everything kind of prepped and ready so you could be like impressed with me. Thank you. And also you're welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to gently stir this together. And then I'm going to add my liquid ingredients, except my binder, to my powdered ingredients. And if you can see, it turned yellow. Curiouser. That's because this is going to be a batch that I'm going to make with hybrid colors. And I actually filmed the prepping part of this for Patreon, and I will give Patreon the like formula for this hybrid color, and I actually give Patreon kind of like our spring color lineup this week. So yeah, so it already has some dye in it, and I'm going to please don't fall. Whatever made that sound. Cover this and mix it all up. Let it get all mixed. And then I'll show you the mold we're going to use so you can get excited. For those that bought the recipe, can the recipe be updated on the website and we re-download it? I don't, that's the thing. I don't think that is, I can't remember why. It didn't sound like, uh-oh. My little lever right here is bent. I probably have used it a lot. So, I can check and see. I asked, and for some reason it was like it's not easy to do, just because that recipe we've had for like years. It's like our second recipe we had on our website, so it's not as easy to do. So basically what we were talking about is just kind of making it like a boot camp only asset, because that's the other thing. Then every boot camp that's had it, I don't know, but I mean realistically I might be able to just like drop the template into and make the template like a free downloadable, and like you would have to input all the information yourself. But I may be able to do that. But I will have to check on that and see. But I mean, if you do have the recipe, you're not missing out. It's just like a ease of use. A thing that makes it easier to use, right? So it's not like there's no like changes to the recipe. You know what I'm saying? Just makes it easier to use. We do have, however, color study assets that are becoming out. Very similar, where it's like a printed color study, so you can just refer to that. That's cool. Those will be for sale. But anyway, I don't want y'all to feel like you're not missing out, you know. Okay. All right. So we have our powdered ingredients. I added the liquid ingredients to it. Now I'm going to add my citric acid and allow that to mix. The humidity currently in my workshop is 60%. I like to use the high humidity recipe at 60% and above. We recommend it for 50% humidity and above, and that humidity, when we're talking about that, it's in like your work area. Sometimes the humidity outside can also still have an effect on it, but most likely your work area is going to have the biggest effect on it. So yeah. So there is it all mixed up. There's nothing wrong with those bowls, they just have like powder in them. Man, it's been so long since we've done a Make With. I mean, I've done other lives. I've been doing lives on Patreon. We've been doing it. We've been still doing it. It's just like, you know. Where shall I put you? Okay. So I'm going to transfer this into here. Now. Oh, you know what? My bad. Let's add some lake to this, cause I said this is to be hybrid color. So we're gonna add some lakes to this. And the thing is, I love Yellow 6 Lake, but that's too much. I love Yellow 6 Lake, and it doesn't fade. It has really nice vibrant colors. However, it's not got a great like payout in the water. Like you don't get to see a lot of yellow in the water. So doing it as a hybrid where you have dye, you have your baking soda has some dye bloomed into it, and then adding some lake. The dye would be too light really on its own. The lake would be not give you enough color in the water, so combining them two, it's ideal. Hello, another people says hello. More people say hello. Okay, so now you can see how like when I combine them, I get this like really nice poppy, not like a poppy flower, like poppin'. It's like a poppin' yellow color. It's almost, dare I say, the color of an emoji. Could that be because we're gonna make emoji bath bombs? I don't know. I think I should have done 4 sprays, but I did 5. We're gonna see what happens. Okay, so when you spray your binder, and I'm using water as my binder. I don't know if you could tell, but like when I sprayed it in, it started to foam up. That's totally normal. That's supposed to happen actually. So now I'm gonna go through and make sure that all that binder is all the way mixed in well. I don't want to leave any potential for little unincorporated pieces of binder that would then kind of clog up and create little warts. So I'm making sure that this is all mixed in. I'm also getting a feel for the mix. I'm kind of seeing how it's dry, it's powder, but it's also like it's got like a squish factor to it that I'm looking for to know that my mix is in the right place, emotionally, also physically. Nectaria says, looks like yellow 5 to me, so you're confused. It is yellow 5, so it's yellow 5 lake. But in the water, yellow 5 lake doesn't have like a lot of color that it puts into the water. So you get like a nice visual yellow, but you don't get the same like, whoa, like when it like starts to streak out in the water, right? Like you do with yellow 5 dye. Yellow 5 dye, you don't get a lot of visual color payout, but when you put it in the water, it's like, whoa, it's bright. It's like highlighter yellow. It's really pretty. So combining them, I'm going to get the best of both worlds. You get the best of both worlds. Okay, so my mix is, I'm doing what's called a drop test. It's holding together, and when I put a tiny bit of pressure on it, it's still holding together. But like this part right here, this is important. I think people skimp out on this part right here, the whole mixing, because you're like, just gotta go, and you're like in a rush. Don't skip out on this part, okay? If I was concerned about it not being like, if I was concerned about it being too dry, I'm not, but if I was, the first thing I would do is add a little bit more oil. A lot of people, they just jump straight to adding, I'm drinking water, y'all, you're welcome. A lot of people, they just jump straight to adding more binder, and then that can lead to some problems, okay. All right, here we go. So I have some embeds, which you cannot see. Cool, cool, cool. I have some embeds, and those are packed with color, so that when the bath bomb's in the water, they go and they like make really pretty rivulets of color. Okay. And those we're going to put inside of the bath bomb. Now, I haven't tried this mold yet, but figured it's good for Valentine's Day. But also, guys, do not skimp. Hear me out. I mean, you make your own choices, live your own life, right? But also, do not skimp on Valentine's Day, because the thing about Valentine's Day that they don't tell you in school is that you can keep selling those products all year long. In my experience, anything with a heart on it, soap, bath bombs, etc., you can sell it all year long. People want it and will keep buying it all year long. So that's just my 2 cents. Take it for what you will, okay? But in my opinion, and in my experience, Valentine's stuff you can sell all year long. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this. So that's 4.25 ounces, also known as 121 grams. I don't really like the arrangement that I have here, so I might switch it, but we're gonna see. And I'm mounding it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the press piece in, and we're gonna see what happens. I haven't tried this mold yet, so. And this mold is from Chunk-A-Dust. It's super cute. They usually have some really good molds. I'll include links to everything that I use in the description. Okay, so I removed that back piece. And then I'm going to pop it up just a little bit so that I have like room for my fingers to grab onto the side when I go like that. Flip it over. Go like this. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. That's like perfect. Okay. So we're gonna do some more of those, and you can ask me questions while I do this again. Okay. Is yellow mica or lake? Okay, so yellow 6 is a lake, but it could also be it can also be a dye. A mica, you could use mica. I don't prefer to use micas in bath bombs for like the body of the bath bomb, and I have some videos on YouTube as to why that is, but mostly it's because they just leave a lot of residue in the tub. I mean, I feel like yellow probably wouldn't be as bad as like purple or black, like darker colors, but they do just leave a lot of residue in the tub, in my opinion. So I don't prefer them, but I know that some people do prefer them. Okay, so I'm not knocking you if you prefer them, but that's just where I stand on it. So this is dye, and then I added lake to it. The thing is that like dyes fade, you know, or maybe you don't know. Hi, dyes fade in the sunlight, but they still give good color in the water. Okay, lakes tend to be a little bit more color stable. They will fade if, you know, they're in the presence of a lot of sunshine or UV, whatever, over time, and sometimes sensitive to pH changes, but not as bad as dyes. Okay, so you may be afraid to do this because you're like, oh no, it's gonna fall out. It's not gonna fall out. You're good. Like, I could probably tempt fate too and like hold it upside down and it probably wouldn't fall out. I'm not gonna do that because that's like cuckoo bananas, but you could. It's not gonna fall out. You have time to flip it over. Whoops. Got a little hairlet there. My bad. Fine though. It's fine. How cute is he? When they're done drying, I will paint them. I'm just going to, there's like a little tiny snag right there. Okay. We're going to keep going. Honestly, I see a lot of people get like really, a little bit kind of, I'm not going to say crazy, okay, but a little bit uptight about their bath bomb being perfect. Don't do that to yourself, okay? I mean, you can if you want to. Once again, free will, okay? But, like, don't do that to yourself. Your customers aren't gonna notice. They're not gonna care. And as I always say, have you even been to Lush? Their bath bombs look like somebody did some naughty things to them. They look bad. So you're gonna be good. You're fine. A couple of flaws here and there. It's actually not bad. And honestly, you can get to the point where your products look too sleek, too professional, and then people won't think that it's handmade. I like literally know this to be a fact. It's my lived experience, okay? Because when I used to go to markets, people would be like, are you sure you make all this from scratch? Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure, just saying. Okay. Also, notice how I'm just fluffily putting it in to my mold. I see a lot of people like pack the mix into the mold. It's like, not only do you not have to do that, I think it's like makes it harder to unmold. Maybe with like vacuum form molds, older bath bomb molds, like that might have been necessary. But I feel like with these newer styles, you definitely don't have to do that. And they work better if you don't do that. And they're more likely to float if you don't do it. Not that I care that much about floating, but some of y'all do care about floating quite a lot. Look how cute they are. Can I see? Okay, wait. If your mix is too dry, how much additional oil would you add at a time? As much as you need. Oil is not going to cause your bath bomb mix to react. So you can add like a ton. You can add a ton. Obviously there's like probably an upper limit to like what you should add. Whoops. But most of the time I don't even measure it. The thing is, if you're finding that you're consistently having to add more oil every single batch you make, then maybe measure it and then just start adding that extra amount at the beginning when you're putting your mix together, right? But if it's like, oh, it's my mix isn't coming together today for some reason, and you're just trying to figure out how much, I would just add some extra. I wouldn't like measure it or worry that much about it. Kind of put those in janky. I hope that one doesn't break. Okay, so that's that question, and it's very dry. And it could be that if you're using the high humidity recipe and it's very, very dry, like you can modify the high humidity recipe for low humidity, but it's just not, it's not ideal. Like even with modifications and stuff, like you can get it to work, but there's a reason that we don't just suggest doing that. Like we suggest just getting a completely different formulation, because that's like, well, typically like what I say is it's like using like garden shears to cut your hair or something, like you don't, it's bringing the thunder and you don't really need to do that. So yeah. So yeah, if your humidity is low and you're trying to use the high humidity recipe, that could be, you can add a lot of oil, but there's just, I don't think that's gonna be the right solution for that. And then I see another question. Wait. Where can I see you test your low humidity bath bombs? Any videos? There's videos somewhere. I mean, they were formulated to perform the same as the high humidity recipe, because the thing is, like, it's not hard to find like most bath bomb recipes are geared towards low humidity. So what? Pay no attention to that. So when I was working with it, it wasn't trying to get a bath bomb recipe that would work with low humidity. It was trying to get a bath bomb recipe that would perform the same as these in low humidity. So I probably do have videos somewhere, but like honestly, once they're in the tub, it's really hard for me to tell the difference. Like, not even probably, like I 100% know that I do have videos of it somewhere. I just couldn't like look at the video and know. I do think at one point when I was posting and testing it, I had like a video where I was like, is this the one? And it was like really, I don't know, to be perfectly honest. It's going to perform the same as these. So I know that doesn't like probably help if you're trying to make a decision, but the answer to that is, I don't know, maybe. Probably better would be if there's people who use the low humidity recipe on a regular basis, and then they would post a video. Because we do have a lot of people who use the low humidity recipe. Just not me. Like, there's only like 2 or 3 months out of the year that I can even use it. So, are there videos of the high humidity recipes? Yeah, you can check our TikTok. You can, especially TikTok, because that's videos. There's probably some videos on Instagram, but I can't remember because Megan, our assistant, posts to TikTok for us, so I don't 100% know. For sure, she posts to Instagram. So for sure on TikTok, and then also on our YouTube channel. Like sometimes at the end of a video, like the black charcoal video, at the end of it, I I show one of my bath bombs. It's like a black bath bomb that has a rainbow inside of it, like black cloud with has rainbow inside of it. Like that's High Humidity Recipe. So, I mean, you can bet most of the time if you see a video of a bath bomb recipe that I posted, or of a bath bomb performing that I posted, like 99% of the time it's going to be the High Humidity Recipe because I just use that one all the time. Because I live in a swamp. Because it's 60% humidity in here, and I've had my dehumidifier on all morning. And, oh gosh, guys, 2 years from now marks the 1 year anniversary of when we had a tornado come through here. And that was scary. But also, today, we have tornado warnings. Like, why? Why? Okay, I'm just making a call there. So, don't like that. Don't really like that at all. My husband had to remind me about it this morning. And I was like, could you, like, just not do, like, reminders of me of tornado day? It was an F3, I think. And it was like really, really destructive. I know it's like, okay, it's a tornado, it's going to be destructive. I don't know why I sound surprised at that. But it was like really, really destructive. And it just made me think, like, people who have bigger tornadoes, and it took us a long time to recover from it. So people who have bigger tornadoes, I don't know. It's scary. I'm sorry for you guys. Okay, so here's the last one. So the third batch, I really like it. I just feel like it's just, for me, for lives, like I try to make the lives like 45-ish minutes. Sometimes it goes a little longer, like 30 to 45 minutes long. So I feel like the third size batch is kind of just right for that. Any bigger, and I feel like I'm just taking up your time making batches forever. I will do a test one of these in the bathtub. So the person who is asking about seeing it in the bathtub, when I post this, you'll be able to see that. And I might post a link in the group. I don't know. Okay, so for Patreon, I will be posting the yellow hybrid, so you can see that. And I'll also be posting the amount of, like, you know, the colors. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, is there an advantage of using the low humidity recipe if possible, if that makes sense? If you live in a high humidity area, would I ever want to use it at all? I mean, I live in a high humidity area, and there are days that I have to use it. So, you know, if you live somewhere it's on average 50% or above humidity, then go for the high humidity recipe. If you live somewhere it's 50% and below on average, go for the low humidity. There's also like 3 recipes in that low humidity like bundle, and I always suggest starting with the fan favorite, because people always start with Robyn's favorite. I shouldn't have named it that. I should have named it something else. This is why, like, future recipes, I don't ever say like Robyn's favorite or our favorite, because people just want to use that one. But like, think about it, guys. I'm just one me. Our group who tested it, they're the fan favorites, and so there's a lot more of them. So more people liked that one than the one that's my favorite. But yeah. So, but if there's an advantage to using the low humidity and the high humidity, I don't think so. They're both formulated to work the same, so it's more about, like, the advantage would be it's not frustrating. Does coarse SLSA foam without reducing the fizz as much as fine SLSA does? Yes. So coarse SLSA is going to give foam, but it's going to be big fluffy foam. It's really good in like a bubble bar or something like that. You're going to get that big fluffy foam. In a bath bomb, it doesn't dampen fizz, but it does still add some foam. I like to combine them both, but like I say in the high humidity recipe, that's just a personal preference. You can just use one type if you have one type. You think about, like, the citric acid is big, and then the baking soda is smaller, right? And so Fine SLSA is like going to be mortar, and it's going to get in between all those little cracks, and so it's going to slow down the time that it takes for the baking soda and the citric acid to reach each other and react. Whereas coarse SLSA is going to be a little bit bigger, so when you combine them, it's not going to stop the baking soda and citric acid from connecting to each other, if that makes sense. So too much fine SLSA and you might just put it in the tub and you're like, nothing's happening. Something is happening, it's just happening very, very slowly. So will I post pictures of them after I paint them? Of course. I'll probably do a whole bunch of Valentine ones and change the banner for the group. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to let these dry. Now, even though my humidity is 65% and I turned my dehumidifier off because I didn't want it to get too low while I was working, I like my humidity to be high while I'm working on them. But now that I'm going to go stick them in the drying area, I am going to turn the dehumidifier on so that it helps them dry quickly. It does take about 3 days for them to dry. Even if you package your bath bombs earlier because you used other recipes and you're like, I was always able to package within 24 hours. I personally think there's still like a process going on where they're off-gassing because it's like a chemical reaction in situ. You're waiting for this chemical reaction to finish completing when you put it in the tub. So there's still some chemical reaction going on. So I like to wait a minimum of 3 days, 5 days if I can swing it. But yeah. Anyway, did I add extra poly for all the embeds or just normal? No, I don't add extra poly for the embeds. My embed recipe does have surfactant in it, so that acts as an emulsifier for them. If you use red 27 or red 28 and it's not enough, like they're staining, you can add like a drop of poly to your embed recipe if you wanted to. But yeah. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and for coming to the Make With Me Monday. I'm very excited to be on a schedule. I don't like schedules, but also like know that it's good for me. So I'm very excited about that. There will be some extra bonus things that like the whipped soap, not the whipped soap, the whipped body butter. I can't really do that one live, so I'll pre-record that one. It'll go to Patreon first, and then it'll go public after that. So there are stuff that's not going to be on the schedule that you might be interested in, but just be patient because I'll eventually do it somewhere else. Oh, okay, and then asking about the dehumidifier. I mean, anytime I'm not in my work area, I try to have my dehumidifier running. I don't like it running when I'm here because it just makes it hot, and I live somewhere really hot already, so screw that. It's gross. But yeah, if I'm not working, I try to leave it running just because like your molds, like PLA, like these molds are made out of PLA, they can absorb moisture, it can make them more brittle. So it's just in general, I try to keep the humidity down when I'm not in here working. So anyway guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. And as always, happy making.